Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Mower Mechanic. I picked up this Craftsman LT1500 for some reason. I don't know why. I bought a couple of these last year and I ended up losing money on both of them because the engine turned out to be garbage. Luckily this one does not smoke, it's not locked up, the valves need to be adjusted, the battery is dead, the steering is super loose. Let's dig into it. Alright, so first I'm going to go ahead and jump this off, see what it sounds like. If you're looking for a link for a good battery charger, you're in the wrong place. Yikes. Go ahead and start getting this unstrapped so we can take a better look. Need to grab my impact battery from my Power Wheels. Be sure to go check out that video. So it looks like that sector plate is just not bolted down completely. At least I hope that's all it is. See if we can tighten it up. Alright, so it's that nut there, and there's a bolt underneath, but I can't fit my impact in there, so I have to do it with a wrench. I can't get a socket under here because there's a little rod. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little rod that goes under the bolt, so I can't get a socket in there. So I have the wrench under here, and I'll either put a wrench up here or try to find a way to stick a socket and an extension in there. It's a 9/16, so I'm gonna get that tightened down. I can't really do it on camera. Alright, so I got it all tightened up, but I was having a look at it, and when I turn the steering wheel, once I turn that so many times, it's just gonna loosen up again. So I was looking at the diagram, and that's actually supposed to be a bolt going down instead of coming up. It's supposed to be going down, and it's supposed to have a nylon lock nut on there. So I have to go grab one of those, and then we'll take that bolt out, flip it around, which, I mean, doesn't make that big of a difference, but we'll flip it around, and then get the nut on the bottom side that's a nylon lock nut. Alright, next I'm going to get these valves adjusted. So basically that's just a 9/16 nut there, and then we have a 10mm up front. So I'm loosening the 10mm, and and then using my feeler gauge to get it to 5 thousandths by loosening or tightening that back nut. It looks like this deck belt, something's going on with it. Kind of twisted around and not on that pulley. Looks good, turn the right way. Check on the blades. Yeah, I'm gonna need to sharpen those blades. Just kidding. Looks like I also need to replace the drive belt. You see all those cracks? Probably last the rest of the season, maybe. I don't want to sell it like that. I'm gonna replace it. Now we can get under here. Let's see what needs to come off for this belt to come off. It looks like it's just attached to that pulley and then the engine pulley up front, and there's no pulleys in the middle. So yeah, so I think I'm just gonna get this top belt off by pushing this in, lifting it off of there. Alright, I need both hands. I thought I had the brake on, but I do not. So be sure to set that parking brake, and that'll take all the tension off of that belt for you. I was able to push it back far enough to get this top belt off. So now let's get it off of this pulley. And then you see these keepers right here. It's on each side. You can't lift the belt out of that, but if you just push up on the middle of that, that'll give you enough room to get in there and slide that belt off of those keepers right there. So now we just have to take off. Now we just have to take off this engine pulley and get that part off. So we got that 5/8 bolt loosened just far enough where we can get that drive belt past it. So out with the old. Too easy. Parking brake is off. Belt's nice and tight. Get these new blades on. deck's going on. Let's see how we're running. Go ahead and get that tune-up done, then we'll wash it all off. So next we're going to do the tune-up on this. This one doesn't have the common yellow drain plug. Instead it's a 1/4 inch drive. That just comes right out. Okay, let's get that drain plug back in there and then move over to the oil filter. Let's get a new spark plug in there. That's not that bad. Still gonna replace it. Alright, that looks better. And now we got to adjust this deck because you can see the front is almost touching the ground and the back quite a few inches off the ground. So we're going to come up front. Going to be adjusting that nut right there, which is attached to that rod, so it's going to pull the front of that deck up. Should just be a 19mm. Ooh, that trailer's hot. We're in a heat wave, folks. Hey, come on down here. Let me show you something. Okay, so these rods really only go one way, and this one is upside down. As you can see, it's hitting the steering linkage here. So I'm going to undo that cotter pin, pull out the front, flip it around, put it back in, see if it's level. I just tightened it up a bunch, so it probably isn't. But let's see. Take it out the front so it was in like this. We're going to flip it around where it'll go in that way now. You can see we got it flipped around now. No longer hitting that steering linkage. So let's finish leveling it. Alright, we are good front to back. We didn't need any adjustment side to side. See, we're hitting the same time on all sides. So we're good to go there. Oil's full. Let's get this thing over to the wash station. Spray it down with my degreaser. I'll let it sit about 5-10 minutes. We'll come back and spray it all off. I just turned the blades on for the first time. What a terrible noise that was. I think I bought bent blades. I'll show you what I mean. If you look here, you can see that blade was hitting something. Now I checked, and the blades don't hit each other. But when you spin it around to this spot, you kind of see what the height of this blade is compared to this. Spin it around to here, and it's hitting that all of a sudden. And look how much further down that one is. So I think I bought some bent blades from the store. Gotta return those and get some new ones. A little better angle. You can see the cutting edge right here lines up at this spot. But then when we turn it, does not line up with it. It's actually under it. Then when I turn this blade towards me, and now look at the cutting edges. That's quite a bit of a difference. So I think they're both bent. Let's go get some new ones. I ended up having the correct blade on another mower, so I took them off of there. And we'll get these put on and see if that was a problem. I already put an edge on them, so they are ready to go. See, it's no longer hitting on either side, and it is saying at one point so the blade doesn't drop down like it did on the other one. So we are good to go there. I'm gonna turn these back on, make sure they sound good. Alright, so the idle sounds a little high to me, and it kind of looks like there's some spots on this nut that kind of looks like it's been turned before. So I'm going to see if it's in the right position. So when you adjust the governor, you're going to loosen this nut here. I'm going to put some vice grips on this little stud. Alright, so as I was saying, you can turn that stud free. So all the way to the right, pushing the arm all the way to the right. And then while I'm putting pressure here, I'm going to tighten that nut back up. Alright, so you can see now it's all tightened back down, and the whole thing moves as one unit again. So let's fire it up, see if it made a difference. That sounds leaps and bounds better. Alright, well, the last thing to do is to clean it up. Let's get it off the trailer. Alright, so this one definitely needed a lot more work than I thought it would, but I think it turned out pretty good. I go ahead and snap some pictures of it, get it listed. It's really clean. So let's see what it sells for. I'm about 400 bucks into it, which isn't terrible, but it's getting kind of late in the season, so I need to list it low to get rid of it quick. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give me a follow and a like. Comment if you have any questions. Let me know what you thought of it. We'll catch you on the next one.